afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from me, your host, Imperial Dane. We're off here to a 1 vs 1 on Samoski. We shall be watching in the northern corner, Thunderhun here fighting for the United States for the 1st Infantry Division, trying to cross the river here as the Germans, under once over, counter-attacking. It's the name of the 116th Panther Division strike back. But they are being rapidly secured. And we're noting here an early Kubelwagen for once over. And there's been a slight patch up which in fact involved the Kubelwagen gaining a slight health buff, amongst other things. I don't think that's going to make it wildly more useful. Going steady here for the fuel points both sides. They're noting a bit of barbed wire going up to make it a bit harder to reach. Though once over doesn't seem to bother, apparently a lot less worried. Kubelwagen riding ahead, turning our telephone poles rather aggressively. Rushing forward here to set up a blocking position rather early on. But over here coming up from Rifleman, trying to set up there. Rifleman making a dash here for every couch to ensure they get suppressed a lot less faster. And there you go, they're already suppressed, but even they're already done a bit of damage. And of course, one thing to note about Rifleman suppressed, they can still hit a Kubelwagen reasonably well, since the Kubelwagen is still a big target, comparatively. So right here, the Kubelwagen is taking a bit of nasty damage already there from Thunderhun's Rifleman. Second echelon unit out. Rifleman spot moving in, and already almost down to half health. The Rifleman is still standing, by the way. Sturm Pioneer heading up from south. Volkswagen is also arriving now to the field. There you go, seeing Arms Brewing again. Further down in health, less and less. In fact, down to 1/4 of its health already. And not a single kill. In fact, it could go down here. But no, does manage to escape here, just barely though, just barely, and easily could have ended up losing it there. If not for a few slight turns. But there you go, there Sturm Pioneer is nearby, ready to repair the Kubelwagen, patch it up with a bit of duct tape. Christmas song, but looks like he's sending both rear echelon units up to the north, designating that his rear echelon. Third Rifleman squad on the way. Additional Volkskandier on survey here for once over.
Rifle squad ready for action.
Third Rifleman squad taking, and there we go, heading up church. Nice, a bit of shooting. And trying to surround them, not a bad idea. Executed there by once over. Sturm Pioneer in the way there, simply going to make things a lot easier for the Sturm Pioneer to close in. The Rifleman gets pressed. And there you go, then closing the trap from the other side. And rapidly sending Thunderhun running. In fact, we're closing the Rifleman getting wiped out, but they do manage it just ever so barely. We got a bit of volley fire from the rear echelon troops. Just I think Lieutenant is accessible now for Thunderhun. And there we go, detail went down, and we're trying to repair the Kubelwagen once more. Inside the building, those are going to have a hard time repairing things, and the Sturm Pioneer is already low on health. There you go, Volkswagen are suppressed, the rear echelon troops going in there with the M1 carbines, tearing them apart up close. Enforcing you to get back in the fight. Looks like he's not aiming for a lieutenant. Could he be aiming for a captain then?
The Krauts are taking one of our points.
Well, rear echelon troops are running down. We go. The Volkswagens are pushed back off the field. Most of the map is currently in the hands of Thunderhun already within the first few minutes. And noting an early mechanized regiment headquarters popping up there. 3 Volkskandiers, 1 Kubelwagen, 1 Sturm Pioneers. There you go, another bit of volley fire that these rear echelon troops need to get out of there before they find themselves with an awful lot of holes. And there you go, suppressed again. And charging in to finish them off up close. There we go. Looks like he's shifting anything over from here to there. Good job there. Probably where that one soul might be trying to ambush again here with the Kubelwagen. Seeing a bit of utility then. There you go, another rear echelon unit sent running. And there you go, he's in fact going straight for the captain, which could indicate maybe he's rushing for a an RT-70 Stuart light tank, or maybe a pack howitzer. The Stuart light tank early on could certainly do a bit of good for him. And there go charging in. That's also going to have to force the Kulbang to sort of reposition.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Force goes act out negative cover. That's a bad position there for the soldiers. Once over, force it. And there goes some point to take up in the church, but they are already low on health, so the situation is not going to look that much better. And there we go, forced out as well. Forced to retreat. Already under an awful lot of pressure there. They managed to cut off the munitions. And there you go. Oh, he might actually get them on retreat there. No. But shows he did not make it back home. And already then, early squad loss then for once over, and a Storm Pioneer unit to boot. And there you go, moving against the full space, going to get back at cut-off points. Reaction on troops reinforcing. Captain ready. Right, for not holding it. Ooh, now go versions you want for the Kubelwagen. Captain could easily afford to move in now. And certainly if we could ambush that Kubelwagen, that's going to be good night, Friedrich. Enforcing, Kubelwagen pushing up, there we go, full retreat there, surprisingly. But now shifting down towards here, now the Kubelwagen is over there, forcing that to sort of rush down, and he might be able to then ambush it with the captain if he plays his cards correctly. Bazooka to the face does wonders for the enemy's bad state. Now he's in fact going for an ambulance and a pack howitzer, standing a bit of lighter artillery. Not what exactly funny. Oh, there we go! Shot one bazooka too early, one no managed to hit the Kubelwagen nicely. That's going to force it back further, probably in pairs. Map control, those gradually slipping out of his hands. It looks like he's actually gone straight on for 4 full square squads. That is quite a rare to see that many units.
Reinforcements in. Welcome to the death factory, boys. Stick with me and you might just make.
Generally, most players tend to get 2 or 3 of them, and then afterwards replace them with noticeably better infantry. And there you go, pack howitzer soon out on the field. No commander choice yet for him. And by the way, both commander sets were bog standard, no drop commanders yet. And a bit of detection mode here on the Kubelwagen. Heinz, my spider sense is tinkling. Oh, shut up. Just admit it, you're listening to the radio, so those Americans can't ever keep their mouths shut. Yeah. Anyways, moving up here.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points. Yeah, go ahead.
Bit slow to get moving here again once more for Thunderhun. We could see him get a Stuart light tank and be able to sort of do a lot of damage, in fact, since currently one so is also extremely vulnerable. He's got very, in fact, no anti-tank. The closest you've got here is the Schwere Panzer at quarters. Ooh. Quick assault there. He's gone for infiltration tactics. But there you go. Pack howitzer firing. 75mm high explosive shells going through the air. They just don't care. But the captain here trying to get the Kubelwagen that fails. Needs to retreat. Right hand side being secured. A bit of fighting to get this back. Well, it's a bit of a struggle. And there goes this M5. A1 Stuart is on the move, and he's going straight down with the larger force, might be going straight to the fuel point. That could certainly hurt Mr. Once Over, although we also know he's actually trading munitions for fuel at the same time. Bit of shooting going on there.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
There you go, pack howitzer Coleman getting shot at. And a Luke's Aufklärungsband here once over. And he's an early choice. But we do note his opponent, of course, also a bit light, though not quite as light as once over, since he does have bazookas, and soon there'll be a Stuart light tank, which the Lux will be struggling with. And there we go, he's going straight for the cut-off point. The Lux is not reacting to this insult versus Deutschland. And then again, another assault. They're quietly countered by basically just running up to them. Could see a squad here going down. Execution style. There we go. No survivors. That was a bit of a silly counter-attack there. He should have moved in the looks, but sadly too late. Kubang here wants to go down to half health. Stuart ready. Used for reconnaissance and infantry support since, well, he really couldn't stand up to most German tanks well. Bit of sandbags going up there, making it a bit hard to take the fuel point back. Good job there. Bad idea. In the end, had to run in the face of the Stuart. Had to run.
90-day wonders. Fall in. Armor ready. Tube ready.
And there you go, the rifleman down south on the run. Another truck there, a schwerer Wehrmacht-Schlepper. And there you go, the Volkswagen's getting absolutely murdered up close. That's 2 squad losses there for once over. A bit too reckless there, maybe. Anti-tank guns also arriving. Now Thunderhun building up a much more solid force. Over to once over, lower on infantry, though with Obersoldaten in sight. And Raketenwerfer as well, about time. He's also got the munitions right now to actually upgrade for the infrared package, if he so fancies. Nope, does not look like it. Instead, a Panther strike might be in fact what is coming. Probably to help deal with that. Stewartson is going to be a bit vulnerable too, with only even one Raketenwerfer. He's going to need a bit more than that. Stuart chugging along. Forces reinforcing, still no commander choice here for Mr. Thunderhun. He could consider that, for example. Right now, I mean, if he were to say go infantry, you could open up for some Brownings right now and sort of apply further pressure to the infantry of once over and 116th Panther Division, but looks outflanked Panther is here. More specific reconnaissance range of the Panther 2 with some slight modifications overall. They're more or less still the same armament. The 2 centimeter. And they go, oh yeah, already nice volley of bazooka shots at Stuart. There we go. It looks outflanked Panther rush to so heroically here. Ultimately though, not much worth it in the end. Got knocked out pretty quickly. Rather vulnerable. There you go, the Volkswagen with the punchback also getting horribly murdered here. In fact, they could be close to getting wiped out, but no. Looks like their D-turn makes a run for it. Also setting up to cover here. The captain could go down in a torrent of bullets and blood. And there we go. Veteran Panzer Grenades from 116th. And there we go. Bit of artillery fire back here from the Pack Howitzer. Kugelwagen, Veteran C2. Being a bit more mobile. Rifleman clearing up. Then there you go. Raketenwerfer up as well. Rather close encounter with the MD-34. Dangerous work, dangerous work. And there we go, Geballte-Ladung. And which failed to make too much of an impression. Another Raketenwerfer up there. He's getting really worried now about any armor. At the same time, he's seeing a smaller force here. The rear troops getting on the move here, using very solidly for harassment. And there we go. Oh, the Kubelmann's about to go down. There we go. Kaput. Raketenwerfer could also go down here, or might he be able to get lucky there in the retreat? Escape the wrath of the United States Army and its arsenal. Looks like it. That was very close there. Schwerpanzer headquarters stopping the rear troops from going too far. But certainly once over has been put a bit hit on the back foot. Stuart light tank continues the prowl. And just opening up there on the Nazis. Point there being secured. Howitzer up. Obersoldaten not being reinforced. He could get another unit though. Also, he's getting a not a Panzerwerfer, but the Stuka zu Fuß, which was basically a nickname, by the way. In reference, I believe, to the sound they also make the rockets there, a bit like the Stuka, so they called it basically a Stuka zu Fuß, that means a Stuka on foot. The technical name was actually a Wurfrahmen 40. Basically throwing frame. They were actually part usually of a Panzer Division's Pioneer unit, Panzer Pioneer unit more specifically, where they served in the heavy company as a sort of artillery unit. Though they would also be part of the Panzer Brigade's artillery unit as well, where they would serve alongside some heavier mortars. So a little fun fact. Now, interesting enough, no response there towards the Volkswagen, is there by the Stuart. A bit surprised by that, but he seems to be moving in towards it instead. As opposed to Stukas, who here might be able to sort of initiate a counterattack a bit more solidly with a lot of rockets, a lot of death. If you can catch sort of Thunderhun's troops in the right positions. Anti-tank gun, though, rather far back. He might want to consider moving up further. I mean, he's not really a good defensive position. Oh, there he goes, still moving in. I mean, you sort of have to consider, it's a bit difficult to actually sort of hold any terrain from this angle. Usually better off you actually take positions more central inside the village. Rather, he seems a bit worried about moving in particular the anti-tank gun. And again, the anti-tank gun really can't do much from here. It should be better up around here, I think. Then again, of course, with the Stukas full soon inbound. And actually, there we go. Firing 6 rockets. Hoping to get something. Houses collapsing. Oh, he got the pack howitzer though. Captain moving up, never support by the rifleman. Captain Jones, Captain Jones. No one likes you. Anyways, orbital line holding up here in the remainders of the church. A large chunk of it has been blown away. Rear-echelon troops run off. Bit of barbed wire here. Huh. Apparently not covering well enough since they were able to jump over it. Or might be a bug, who knows. There you go, the Stuart leading the charge. They're obviously not the most well-built tank for that. So usage with the British and also so usage with the Soviets to a certain extent, though I can't remember how much there. Capture the leading way. Oh, Stuart got one of its own men! Might have been a bit of disagreement there with card games, I suppose. More volley fire down there. Another orbital line unit on the way for once over to apply further pressure that way. Good, good. Of course, I mean, with the Stukas Fus out there, I mean, there's an opening here for Thunder, and he must realise that there actually is a lot of fuel. So, of course, that might open up for some armour. Though, of course, he could also set up for some fuel cash to further speed up his fuel income and further help towards getting more armour, more tanks. Volskers there being run off. The Stuart light tank just murdering them violently. Counter-attack towards the north here. Thunderhun a bit spread out, and there we go, the second orbital dart unit out. Captain and rifleman charging in, and the Volksgun is charging away. But rapidly regaining territory, although these rear units might be pushing in a bit much there. Ooh, salvaging, good job there, good job. Getting some extra fuel there, that might help things. Although rather close then, resulting in a complete wipe, and holy moly! That ballast did its job, leaving many an American soldier dead or wounded or smashed to bits. Oh dear, I fear those rear-echelon units will not meet a, well, that rear-echelon man will not meet a happy end. There we go, dead. That was Thunderhun pushing his luck a bit too far there, I think. Still, though, holding back awfully far here with the support. You can even move the pack house a bit further, so we can actually cover the opponent's side of the village maybe a bit more. And there we go, rear-echelon is moving in. There we go, rear-echelon is getting caught here up close. The MG-34, as ever, quite an unpleasant friend. On the wrong end, that is. Setting up, but looks like you have forward reinforcement point, although at the same time might be better to set up a bit here close to the village, but at the same time also a bit further away from anything else and might be less likely to be caught in an artillery strike, I think. Because right here they're going to be funneled into a very small area, which will certainly also maximise any damage with that. But there goes Stuart moving in. Oh dear, careful there with the building. That church is ready to collapse like a house of cards. Well, there you go, Stuart seems to be having a bit of hard luck there with his 37mm gun. Another Kenweather moving in. There we go, getting out of the church, realising the structural badness of it. And just in the nick of time as it collapses in a shower of splinters. Over to Thunderhun again though. Applying further pressure with the 1/16th Panther Division. CoH2 driving around a bit. Might be setting up for another barrage soon. And then we go, infantry has been chosen. That opens up for an artillery strike. In fact, he could have called anyone on the church, I think. But also soon a priest. At the same time, a part of me would say, you know, you should get a tank, apply some pressure versus that. In fact, could probably easily charge in there with the Sherman, knock some stuff out. Clear up maybe some of those we can at least try and get that. Stukas of Fuss. Also, a lot of manpower being flooded again. I mean, if you do find yourself with that, you know, when you want more armor, so, you know, get some fuel caches. Not a huge fan of all this manpower being floated right here. In particular when he might have a slight advantage here, but now getting a self-propelled artillery priest, sort of hoping to barrage his opponent out, I suppose, but at the same time that's also another fuel drain for him, which might give his more opponent time to get a Panther out, which he really should be expecting sooner or later. Looks like he's about to attack the village. Priest moving up. Preaching its sermons. Go. Bombarding them with a 5mm gun. Nice hit there on the orbital Darden, killing Gerhard. They're not reading much else. And now looks like here the pack house is about to get wiped out.
Just got wiped out. Complete.
Looks like the ambulance could go down here. The orbital done firing weight rapidly. And there we go! Stewart charged in, but rather ended up taking a lot of fire. And artillery going in here, trying to drive around it all. Should drive around here. Get out. Nope. Dear, he's hanging around too much, I fear. Needs to get away. Get away. And there we go. Ah, took the wrong choice there. He should have just driven up through here and got him back. Instead, he lingered a bit too much there and got knocked out. And there we go, once over, sort of pulling off a successful counter-attack. Robin moving up there. Noting though, by the looks of it, only one Browning on them. He could easily consider 2 Brownings on the rifle squad. Certainly gets a lot more out of them. And soon might be able to get a Panther here. So far, first strike from the priest did not succeed much. The sermon was a bit lackluster, if you will. Did not teach or reach the intended audience. Once over, falling back a bit here. A lot of his men did take a bit of a beating there. Thunderhun moving forwards again. What shall he do? What shall he do? He needs to strike quickly, rapidly. Again, fuel caches though. Do you think he would benefit a bit from some of those? Around here maybe, or here. Speed up further fuel, and again get him more armor in the longer term. Also ensure he doesn't float too much manpower, but there we go. Jackson is capable now, or available. And there we go, looks like a Panther is on the way for once over. Polska's flanking about there. Captain looks like an even higher echelons here of Thunderhun's forces there. Bit of a barrage going in towards here. Hoping to hope any catching units moving out there. Not a bad idea, though so far mostly hitting trees. Kraut trees, but still trees. That again, no, you know, range and slide of sight has an effect on his accuracy. And there you go, though. Panzer Kampfwagen 5 available. Panzer. Orbital down, putting stop there to the captain and his friends. In a pretty ardent manner. Anti-tank guns further back. They're definitely not going to be able to sort of put much up there to the Panther at the front lines. Troops heading in a defensive posture there. No anti-tank defenses up front. There we go, Jackson on the way.
Krauts are taking one of our points.
There you go, Orbital moving straight into these troops. And there you go, getting suppressed. That's overall going to leave the Americans there with the advantage. Those Orbital will not stand a chance now once they're already suppressed. It looks like he was actually able to steal away the pack howitzer. Bit of light artillery there. Alongside the Stukasophus.
Our supply line just got cut off.
Another barrage off there. Lots of lights, lots of smoke. Ooh, nice job there. That's in fact forcing Thunderhun to conduct a very swift retreat there. Let's see what's too much. And there we go. Barrage in return. Looks like the recovery there could go down. Needs to vacate the premises. And there you go. Building collapse. The Kenmare effort wiped out. Anti-tank active once close to the front line. And there you go. Panther charging in. Shot failed to penetrate. There you go. Nice hit on the Panther. And there you go, already pulling back. Looks like his little raid there encountered a bit more resistance than expected. Panther forced to fall back there and almost knocked out. In fact, had Thunderhun began the production of the Jackson much sooner, he could probably have taken out that Panther since he'd also been there. Of course, that is easy for me to say. Nice assault there. Doesn't quite hit, but still managed to take out most of the life there of the attacking Captain Force and force them away. Thunder having a trouble holding the map at the moment, though he does have his opponent low on victory points, so might be able to gain something back there.
Gun ready.
Nice strike there from the howitzer. And are really lacking in territory. And looks like he's actually trading fuel for munitions now. Interesting, interesting. That's rarely seen. He might be opting for maybe some upgrades for his Obersoldaten. And there you go, quick grenade there. Blows up a chunk of it. But the forces still fight on from inside the premises. This small, unsuspecting house. Obersoldaten arriving to assist. And there you go, quick retreat there from Thunderhun in the north. Another pushing towards the centre, no defence here towards the rear. The Obersoldaten sneaking up there as well. And now shifting back to fuel from munitions.
Krauts are sniffing around our asses. Tactical point being captured.
Pack howitzer could be secured by the Americans. There we go. Tot, kaput. And there you go. Sturmgewehrs up for one squad of Obersoldaten down here, taking up positions here. Oh, bad news there for the field gun or anti-tank gun crew. The captain and his men not doing too much better either. And there you go, strike going in as well.
Capture point is under attack.
That did not leave a strong impression there upon those riflemen. House collapses just in time there. The Obersoldaten barely escaping this collapsing tomb. Holding up positions as well. Once over, having some luck, can actually push back to opponent. There we go. 230 caliber squads there versus 1 victory 3 Obersoldaten squad. Who wins? Well, there you go. Another Obersoldaten unit moving from the rear. Springing attack, but there we go. Forced retreat actually giving those time to escape. Both sides, in fact, time to escape. Moving up with the infrared assault rifle packages.
Krauts are taking one of our points. Alright, you don'ts, listen up.
Panther moving out as well. And there also existed some infrared stuff there for the Panther actually to be mounted on that so it could fight during night. And as Jackson moving forward here might force the Obersoldaten to retreat since they can't really hurt it either. And there we go. Pulling back lest he rather get squished. Panther moving up here. Run from the anti-tank, and in fact, armor piercing rounds here could go off, but no, it looks like he isn't. Priest though getting out of there. Thunderhun very much now contained here by once over. A bit skittish in some regards. there you go, charging straight here. The Falcon's getting absolutely shredded, even as again mentioned before. Panther nearby. And if only there's more forces to follow up, so some armor. Priest needs to get recruited, and the Jackson needs to get moving as well. Pack how to recruit. Need to get away, and there you go. The Orbs done counter-attacking. The best one electrically has to muster moving up. The Suga shots firing. Pack how to clear up again. And there you go. Lots of Orbs down there. Lots of death. Lots of bullets. Eventually 2 for another Orbs line unit arriving near. Captain needs to get away. But no, we got Jackson moving in. Which is not actually going to do much. We've got the Howitzer firing as well. Looks like the Jackson actually got a kill there. Almost lost the entire unit there all of a sudden. That was bloody close for Mr. Once Over. But over to the mid-game analysis, current situation is Thunderhun is very much held back yet at this moment. He's got a lot of resources floating, but he's not really utilised. He's not pouring them out, and that's just only giving Once Over a bit more room to manoeuvre. Right now, I think he should aim for a Sherman, pop out some high closer rounds, and then begin sort of slowly creeping through, in particular with the 50 cal on top, through the forces of Once Over, striking out infantry in there, and also maybe sort of trying to catch the Stukas in a quick strike or two. If he can do that, he might stand a chance then, particularly with in course he can quickly shift over to armor piercing rounds for the Shermans alongside the Jackson, so help deal with the Panther. He should also move up his anti-tank guns much further closer to the front where they can actually support. They're much too half the time they're too far away. I mean, can certainly understand wanting to cover this approach, but this one, for example, could easily be standing much closer around here, dominating the centre, causing much more of a headache for Once Over. I mean, he seems rather conservative in his anti-tank gun usage, and it's not particularly helping him. I mean, he's going to cover here. He should consider the angle better. There's a large spot of territory there, basically rendered null. I mean, he could set it up around here, cover this spot much better with take aim, for example. That would make it very difficult for any tanks to creep up through here, for example. But to cure this, set up some positions here, and then sort of push in slowly through the village with armor, tank destroyers, infantry, and sort of attack from here. He could probably push back Once Over, who's still in a bit of a vulnerable stage at the moment. So that's a little something to consider for him there. So Once Over, though a bit more under pressure still. He's doing a larger chunk of the map, and he's certainly also keeping his opponent under a lot of pressure at the moment. So we can sort of do something with that, and that might help him. He's got plenty of resources he could save up, try to save up at least, for the King Tiger. That might aid him a bit, in fact. Allow him to pressure his opponent, certainly, and maybe deliver a bit more of a harsher blow. He could also save up for a Command Panther to sort of work alongside his regular Panther. That would also be a strong option, would certainly have a lot of firepower that way. Infantry-wise, is looking pretty good. He could recruit that pack howitzer once more, have a sort of firing support, or get a lightest infanterist in his own way. That might also be an idea, but otherwise, it's just about pressing up, keeping up the pressure there so far on Thunderhun, and reacting to whatever else he does. Because I mean, if Thunderhun keeps up the way he's doing, he's probably going to lose. If he shifts though correctly, he can force away Once Over. So let's see how it actually goes out. Back to the fight here, back to the match. More rocket strikes, now there on the Jackson. Going for the victory points once more. Also in terms of damage, slight advantage Once Over so far. Kill wise though, they are extremely close, equal even. Bulletin wise, nothing particular I believe. Nope. The exact same bulletin in fact. But the Panthers once more ready to the fight. Rolls forwards, full of determination and steel. So pushing up here. It's very interesting to note he's only upgrading each squad with only one Browning when he does have munitions for more than one. That would be sort of my perspective on things. But there you go, Panther moving up. Jackson far removed. Oh, there we go. Nice hit down the Panther. After moving up, they could try and get off an anti-tank rifle grenade, maybe hope to catch it, though of course they could also decide against it. And there you go. Another Kenmap loss there. A bit dangerous having them around in buildings when there is an artillery piece around there from Thunderhun of the higher caliber than just a pack house. Right, of course, whether the Panther managed to cover things reasonably well. Command Panther is open now, though again, he might wait just 2 more minutes and get the Königsjäger. That could certainly deliver a bit more punch. And there we go. We do see Sherman out now for Thunderhun. Of course, the question is, will it be shifting her to high explosive rounds? Just a quick peek. Yup. A 50 caliber on top could also be a good idea, though. Also note, you do get more accuracy when you're not moving. So if you can time that correctly, you can actually do a lot more damage to your opponent, but we seem rather more intent on just shooting while moving.
The Americans have cut our supply line. Target secure. Ready for action.
There we go, another Stuka-Fuß barrage. I think that was a bit of a blinder strike, maybe. But at the same time, also seems like Thunderhun is a bit good at dodging. There goes Samek position going up. Captain securing the point down there as well. Thunderhun slowly getting back in the fight. And they're getting another assault here from the Obersoldaten, closing up there with their Sturmgewehrs. Straight into the light machine guns, though. Bit of a dangerous weapon, but there we go. Still managed to clear out the rifle. The rifle, in fact, could go down. If only had 2 Brownings, they might wiped out. The Obersoldaten is forced them to retreat. Either way, though, the Obersoldaten got some kills. Veteran for you there. Veteran for these gentlemen. And there goes Show moves up. Still enough 50 caliber on top of that. Not sure what's going on there with the turret. And there go Panther rapidly moving up. Sherman needs to pull back. Not sure what Thunderhun's here doing. He's being a bit reckless now all of a sudden. When he knows his opponent has a tank about. Jackson moving up, but I can't help but feel that was a bit of a mistake there by Sherman, and that's about to go down. There we go. Kaput. Ammunition store went into flames, cooking it all off.
We've lost a squad of infantry.
Looks like another unit was lost for once over, though. Grenade failed to make any impression on the Fox guns, and there we go. Panther actually take quite a bit of damage there from Jackson. Veterans one up, opening for armor-piercing rounds. And there you go, almost got it, one more hit, and that could be the end. King Tiger though is on the way. Königstiger, Andy V. Needs to quickly get out on the field again. Obersoldaten rushing back on the field in a bit of a desperate fit there. Oh, nasty strike there, clearing out the Foxguns, forcing them to not reinforce the front line. Almost through there for the Priestess, which open up for a much higher rate of fire. And these orbs are actually moving into the strike zone despite anything. They haven't even been fully reinforced. Moving straight into these riflemen there. Still a bit of a lack there of further machine guns. In fact, there we go. Unit wiped. Oh, but the Obersoldaten got killed on return. Heavy loss for either side. Jackson wants to bring people. He's actually beginning to suffer rather heavy infantry loss. All of a sudden, that's going to be very difficult then for Thunderhun to sort of keep up the fighting that way, in particular, since once over can replace lost infantry with Obersoldaten. Even the more standard one is only going to be able to overpower Rifleman squad noticeably easier without veterancy. So Thunderhun needs to be a bit more careful there with his infantry. Another strike there, and almost knocking out the Jackson. And there go Königstiger. Falling forward mightily. Another artillery strike here. Nice hit there. And veterans do thus available, and a higher rate of fire through a lower cooldown. Of course, on the other hand, once over is now in possession of quite the armoured force. The infantry is a bit depleted, though still willing to fight. There you go, moving up forces here.
Combat unit ready.
Bit of a sneaky assault there from the Volksgrenadiere. Ooh, the captain here needs to be careful if the King Tiger spots him. Looks like we're seeing a shift in direction, realising the path there has been blocked off. Trying to flank about here. No sign of taking, by the way, which is going to allow the King Tiger to keep up a bit better. Grenades going off there. Volkswagen's almost right, but there we go. Veteran 5 for the Obersoldaten. And the Jackson's pointing in the wrong direction. He's going to be very vulnerable here to an armored assault. Of course, again, he's not using take aim. And there you go. Jackson taking huge damage there. And there you go. The Panther already almost down to half health. There you go. Jackson went down. Veteran 2 for 1 anti-tank gun, but this is absolutely catastrophic. Thunderhun for some reason getting a bit too comfortable around his own base. And also apparently ignoring again the possibility of something, and again not using the abilities of the anti-tank to the full strength. Either way, heavy damage there. Panther firing away. Looks like he might be able to get the crew there. Clear up the veterans easily. One anti-tank crew wiped out as well. Now Thunderhun is in serious trouble. And there you go. Anti-tank gun wrecked. Looks like these rounds are getting knocked as well. We do see an anti-tank moving there. And there we go. Wrecked as well. Not sure if we call it the worst for the US yet. Though you might feel it's a bit claustrophobic, which might be why Thunderhun was being overly cautious and overly passive at times, saying it was only to the advantage of one Sermon getting back in the fight. Oh, managed a damaged engine there on the King Tiger. And that could work, and there you go. Almost hitting one on the anti-tank gun as well. Rory getting flanked there by the Panther. King Tiger moving forward. He's actually moving forward. Veteran 1 there for the anti-tank gun. That should open up for the armpit. No, take aim actually. But also armpit rounds. No, it got wrecked there. The King Tiger knocked it out. There we go. Jackson they're moving in. Panther on. The Panther misses. And there we go. Panther out of control. He should have pulled back. He should have blitzed out of there. But instead, opened up there for the Jackson taking out. Maybe he's getting a bit too comfortable here. Now the King Tiger might be the one in trouble. Stukas Fusto unleashing hell. Failed to penetrate. Should just throw around. Should just throw around. No! He's pulling back. He's gaining from the King Tiger. Could probably outmaneuver. He could have driven faster than the turret. He could have driven behind it. Oh dear. He missed a golden opportunity there. I think again. Thunderhun. Stukas will spot it. Jackson pulling very far away. Looks like he's sending an infantry to spot for the Jackson. Shot failed to penetrate. King Tiger in there, not having much shot there with the rifleman. And over to Thunderhun, struggling at the moment a bit. Obersoldaten fighting hard to take back territory. Victory point being secured. They're draining further points out from once over. And the 116th Panzer Division. That's two strikes here, almost wiping out the Obersoldaten. And he's actually pulling back from here, allowing the King Tiger to escape now. Can they get the Obersoldaten, or will the Obersoldaten be able to escape here? Looks like they do manage it barely. Very close though, very close though. But now Thunderhun is a bit out of trouble. He needs to somehow gain back the initiative, and he needs to do so rapidly. He's already suffered heavy loss. Looks like the captain got murdered as well. Horribly so. Going for the fuel point as well there. One so basically sort of trying to attack from different points. He's trying to relieve pressure, constantly trying to sort of divert the force of Thunderhun away from where he doesn't want them. And there you go, the Major clearly without a chance there versus the elite Obersoldaten there, Veteran 25. That's right, going in there. Volkswagen is almost wiped out in one go. Jackson could move in, but again, holding it back, holding it back. I mean, he could probably roll right in here and actually knock out, for example, the Stukas if and further harassed. But again, Thunderhun, for whatever reason, seems to be getting extremely timid. Again, it seems to be the map that's causing him to get a bit, how should one say, withholding. Another set of infrared assault rifles equipped here. And another barrage going in here. Though again, we do see a nice dodge here. I mean, essentially, what if you have an idea where the barrage is going to come from, you basically just, you know, move out of the way and move to the side of that. In which case, you've already dodged it.
Captain, hitting the field. Send your orders.
Another captain out. Another anti-tank gun out.
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? Green as green can be. Listen up, fellas. Grab your shit and follow me. All right, you don't.
I'm still surprised he's never upgraded any of the squads with a second light machine gun. He seems very intent on only getting one of them at a time. They could easily benefit greatly from having two on them. Again, that is quite the surprise, if anything. There you go. Volley fire active, though I don't think it's going to stop the orbital line from closing in fast enough. There you go. Trying to catch him on the move. I think he should have maybe predicted a bit better. Around here would have been better, I think, but well, too late. Another push for the fuel point. Aggressive pushing there, aggressive harassment. Making things further and further difficult for Fun and sort of decide what to do. I imagine trying to stress him out a bit. Not a bad idea. And really mounting up a large force here. Bazookas, Panther 6, light machine guns, you name it. And a command Panther, a Befehlspanther has arrived. There go defensive positions, always on moving in, getting suppressed here. And a good grenade in response as well. Forcing one so to have to pull back these two. There go Bazooka hitting the Panther, one shot actually managed to penetrate the side of this mighty beast. And there go the command Panther arrives, allows it to actually move faster, making it a bit more nimble. I mean, it's a rare combination, to be honest, to see a King Tiger under command or a command Panther, but it does exist. It's actually quite interesting to see there. The captain, though, might want to get out of the way before 88mm high close around sends them all to Kingdom Come. Another Jackson could be an option. Certainly, there we go, it is. An attempt at bombarding the Königstiger. This behemoth of steel on Krupp armaments. Oh dear, the captain there might go down. There go Jackson moving up, anti-tank and support. Again, too far away, too far behind. He's being very timid, and that's allowing Once Over to be a lot more aggressive with his armor, if anything.
Crowds are sniffing around our asses. Tactical point being captured.
And there we go, very strong defensive position around here to a certain extent. Going to make it difficult here for Thunderhun to take it back. 88 points left for Once Over. And the 116th Panzer Division. Command Panther moving up here. They're coming attack from the anti-tank gun. Armor piercing rounds. No use of them though, sadly. He should consider using them. They are a great ability which even allows him to sort of penetrate better. And there you go, we get to see a coordinated fire, allowing it to, well, take more damage actually from the Panther amongst other things. There you go, Bazooka's hit. Main gun destroyed! Main gun destroyed! Just in the time second tank destroyer arrives. King Tiger moves forward to actually shift the Panther. Oh dear, another anti-tank gun wrecked here. The King Tiger barreling through. Knocking out the anti-tank gun swiftly and soundly.
Damn Krauts just wasted some of our riflemen.
Jackson being repaired. And orbital line moving up there, trying to cover the fuel point a bit further. Captain and rear echelon troops counter-attack. In fact, he's got very little riflemen left. Veteran 5 also they're almost wiping it out. And pushing forward with the King Tiger again. 31 kills for these pulling forwards again. Vodka's charging into the base with all the defenses cleared out here by the King Tiger's previous efforts, by the way. And the ambulance went afire.
Light vehicle just got destroyed.
Jackson needs to get away there. Panther and Bazooka, a bit of a nasty combination there for the Jackson. And the artillery piece firing from here, trying to get the Fultz Grenadiers and wipe them out.
Taking a hostile fire.
Utterly chaotic situation here for Thunderhun. As the 116th Panzer Division pushes further and further in. And the rear echelon troops got wiped out. And the Fultz got wiped out on the retreat, dropping a Panther Shrek. But the Koenigsegger pulls back here. Of course, it does now to contend with two Jacksons, which could very quickly knock it out. In particular, the one of them decides to pop its own high-velocity armor-piercing rounds there.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
There you go, King Tiger rolls out. Stukas getting a bit aggressive there, if anything. And they can't get away due to the other Jackson blocking the way. Bit of chaos there for Thunderhun as things further collapse. Under the relentless assault of Once Over. And he's not even picking up the Panther Shrek. Tisk, tisk.
Crowds are taking one of our points.
Tisk, tisk. And there you go, Jackson's moving ahead.
Rifle squad ready for action.
Quick steel granate. Final grenade in return. Another barrage here. Not doing much damage to the Jacksons. King Tiger under repairs. Stukas Foods by there open too. The Jacksons charging in.
Gun ready. We got orders coming.
Desperately fighting here for the victory point, trying to get them down there and drain Once Over the what remains. Sending in one Jackson. Looks like Once Over here might have gotten a bit too plucky. And there we go. Almost got it, almost got it. One more hit. No! Looks like he will be able to escape with the Stukas as well. And the Major went down. Both sides rather worn down, but now a lot of damage done though. Once Over the notable kill score now. Getting rather close here, but does begin to feel like Thunderhun might have been broken by now. Unable to really strike back. Oh. First getting a Panther machine gun there for the King Tiger now. Interesting. Very quiet now, both sides not having a lot of strength in them at the moment, though certainly Once Over might have a bit more thanks to his Obersoldaten. In particular, that Veteran T5 unit is an absolute menace. And there we go, Obersoldaten moving from the north, assault rifles in hand. Again, holding back the Jacksons. He's much too reactive. Much too passive. Another command Panther on the way.
Prepare to execute. King Tiger ready.
Speeding things up a bit here. Two units down here. King Tiger moving in. Jackson's not reacting. He ought to be hearing there's a King Tiger moving. He makes a rather distinct sound, if anything. Quick assault there from this Obersoldaten. No response, no response. And there you go, the rifle unit was wiped out in one. A victorious hit there from the Koenigsegger. Trying to break up the rifle assault there, doesn't quite succeed. And there you go, Jacksons are finally on the move. But by now I fear it's a bit too late. There we go, shots connecting. At least one is. I think the other failed to hit.
Americans down 100 points.
Both now veterans who won. Closing in on veteran 2. King Tiger heavy damage. Come on, Panther nearby as well. Make it faster. There we go, veteran 2. Got already heavy damage. There we go, Panther and the Command Panther. That is game over. Out of control. And the Koenigsegg moving forward. He could actually blitz it in, but there we go. Looks like the Jackson's about to go down. And there we go, kaput. Kaput. Captain almost wiped. That rather looks like it. Yup, seems to be it. Absolutely grueling infantry battle. And there we go, game over. A loss for the United States, rather close at times for the end. At least my personal perspective of things is that, well, Thunderhun became too passive, too reactive. He constantly kept holding back something, particularly the anti-tank guns, way too far back. They weren't able to help in time. That was several times that allowed then once over to push forwards more easily, more successfully. That was sort of one thing. He was also never really able to fully commit to the infantry again with the light machine guns. He should have 2 light machine guns per squad. That would make things a lot more difficult for the Oberstdorf early on, but that never quite materialized either. So I think that was another issue. And also, I mean, I'm a bit torn down this getting the priest. I mean, initially he ended up doing quite well, but I also partly think in an earlier Germany would have done well, and certainly the first Germany got there was a bit wasted around here, which was very unfortunate. But to a large extent, I'd rather have to sort of chalk this down to Thunderhun, rather at some stage, rather getting too passive, too worried, too nervous, and again holding back all of his strong forces too far in reserve, thus ensuring they aren't able to sort of be able to hold back. One so in fact allowing one so to be a lot more aggressive than he otherwise might have been. And overall, that allowance in being one so more aggressive gave him the initiative, gave him the motivation. He basically just sort of controlled and dominated. He basically played around with Thunderhun for the larger part of the match, only really getting back because Thunderhun, he got a bit too cocky here with the first Panther and the King Tiger, almost losing the King Tiger. So I mean, a rather close saves mistakes from the end, rather pulled out in the end. Again, thanks for Thunderhun holding back. I mean, give it all you've got in a fight. And, don't be worried about such things. I mean, of course, always be cautious, don't be reckless, but at the same time, I rather think here again, too cautious. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did want to subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay and provide some feedback in the comment section. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers and see you all tomorrow.